Yo, yo, yo. I'm in a new spot. I just moved into my apartment for school. And yeah, I got the posters hanging back there. I got a nice little setup going. Better than at home. It was a little different. But look, I just watched the card we had, Tybura versus Spivac. And whew, I finished 17th on Tapology, if you know what that is. What a performance by me, man. I went 9 for 10 on this card. I'm not going to waste too much time. Look, I popped off. I had a great card, prediction wise, man. But I do this. I've been doing this for a while now. Man, I don't miss a lot. So yeah, let's get right into it. First up, we got Youssef Zalal. You know, Youssef Zalal. I think he had some issues with Jarno Errens on the feet. Obviously, I did pick Youssef Zalal, but I was in the back of my mind. I was like, damn, I think Jarno can win this fight because I do like Jarno Aaron's, and I think the line was way too fucking wide. First of all, the line was minus 500 on Zalal, and bro, he's a good fighter, but good God, Jarno Aaron's can scrap, and he was showing Zalal early that don't stand on the feet with him. I think Zalal felt that. He took Jarno Aaron's down, climbed up on his back, and choked him out. Uh, Zalal's on a 2-fight win streak now after his second return to the UFC. He has just beat Billy Quarantillo and now Jarno Aaron's. Pretty good win streak going. I mean, I wouldn't say he's in line for a ranking yet, but hey, I can't deny what he's been doing is pretty impressive. He's got a great rear naked choke. That's actually the second one he's got in a row. Man, I think Jarno kind of quit there. If I was in that position, I would not have tapped, bro. It wasn't under the neck. You're not going to die. Like, come on, man. It's just uncomfortable. You got to go through that, But like I said, I wanted Jarno to win. I did bet on Jarno Errens because that number was fucking ridiculous. But it is what it is. He loses. And yeah, I got my pick wrong. Fuck it, whatever. Or no, I didn't get my pick wrong. My bad. I had round 2 submission for Zalal, and he had a round 3 because I did think he'd win the fight. I thought he was better. He surprised me with his quickness. He was really quick, and I didn't know. When I watched him back, I didn't think he was as quick as he was, but he was quick. So yeah, got my pick right. Second round submission I picked, but he got a first round. So partially correct. Next up, we got Karl Williams versus Joanna Diniz. That was the only fight I got wrong on this card. There was a lot of women's fight that I just got right, and I was just guessing because I don't, you know what I mean? Diniz, he looked powerful in there, man. I think kind of right when Karl Williams got hit by one of those shots, he didn't like it, and it made him hesitant to shoot or even just put himself in the fire where he needs to win. He grinds on guys. Pause. He grinds on guys, tries to win like that. Yeah, so I think immediately the power gave him some problems. I don't think he liked that power coming his way from Joanna Diniz. And Diniz looked great, man. He hit him with some nasty counter shots. And it's weird because the Diniz I remember watching, when I was looking back at him, he was wild. And I don't know, he looked great. He was really patient. And I think that's just because, Diniz was coming in here against a more high-level opponent. Look, Austin Lane fucking sucks. He fought some bum on the Contender Series as well. He knew he could knock those guys out easily. When you're going up against a great grappler and if you overextend, you're in trouble. I think if Joanna Diniz comes out and fights like that every time, he's going to have a lot of success. But he wasn't doing that, and that's why I did pick Karl Williams. I think the footwork was too much for Karl Williams. It's just too quick. He did end up getting him down one time, but, and you can say, why didn't he shoot more takedowns? And I agree, but at the end of the day, you got to give credit to Joanna Diniz because he ensued that with the power and the footwork. I think it was hard. The low kicks as well. I forgot he was throwing a lot of those. He looked great, man. Like I said, I didn't see that fighter when I was watching his film, but looking back or looking at how he just fought, he looks fantastic. So, yeah, that's a good win for him. Next up, we got Toshiomi Kazama. Whew. Got this one right, man. Come on, stop playing, man. Kazama, I talked about this guy in my video. He was plus 200, I believe. He goes out there, wins the fight. I bet on him as well, so I was very happy. It was a bit tricky, but we'll talk about that. First round comes out, grapples, look great. I didn't really expect him to be the one grappling, but he did. So I was surprised and happily surprised because he came out there and did that. Second round, uh, whatever the dude, Giagra, I don't even know the guy's name. He's bad though. Comes out banging, swinging, hurts him bad in the ground and pound. The elbows were dirty. And I was nervous. I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to stop it. They don't stop it. I was like, oh my gosh, just show me. You got to get up. You got to do something. He throws a triangle up, and just like that ends the fight. As far as I thought, for a plus 200, he looked good, in my opinion, because he won the first round. Obviously the guy has a bit of a chin problem. He's been rocked a lot and knocked out a lot, which isn't great. But, he came out there and got the win. I thought the line was wide, and Kazama's a pretty good fighter. I don't think he's great, but I don't think Charalampos, whatever his name is great either. So that's why I ultimately picked him. And he looked, came out and grappled and eventually got that triangle choke. Nice little choke he got there, and I made my money, so I'm happy about that. Oh my gosh, this card was so small for guys fights, bro, crazy. Next up, we got Chris Gutierrez. Not the greatest performance from Chris Gutierrez, but I thought he won every round. All the scorecards were 29-28. I thought he won every round. I expected this from Chris Gutierrez, come out there and throw a lot of leg kicks, and I picked him by a decision. He won by a decision. He's a guy that doesn't, he has a couple knockouts, but they're similar to Corey Sandhagen. They're the knee knockouts, the flying knees, the knees up the middle that put anybody out. His hands aren't the strongest. He doesn't have the nastiest combinations. He's got good low kicks, but he doesn't have great power. So I knew he'd come in there. He was a lot faster. I talked about the speed advantage he'd have. He was a lot faster than this guy, Quang Lee. I don't remember his name much. This dude was Quang Lee. I did watch him previously 2 times because he was supposed to be on the Contender Series. I wasn't impressed. I don't think he's good. He's slow, clunky, doesn't move well. I don't think he's good at all. I don't even think he's UFC caliber at all. He'd probably lose to a women's bantamweight. I just don't think he's good. Anyways. Yeah, I would have liked to see a knockout from Chris Gutierrez. I would have liked to see him put some combinations together with the hands, but he really didn't do it. So not a crazy win, and, he got taken down by that bum, and that kind of makes me think, what would Javid Basharat have done to him? And I know Javid's coming off a loss, but when I look at Javid Basharat, he's an extensive grappler. He's a good grappler. And I think the movement of Chris Gutierrez would have given Javid some problems, but he matches the frame. He's a little bit bigger than Chris Gutierrez, and he's pretty fast. But the grappling difference, I think he'd have been able to get Chris Gutierrez to the ground, and I don't know, it just wasn't a great performance from him. Definitely not no minus 700 performance for sure. So, he's got some shit to work on. Those Factory X guys, man, it's crazy. You put them in front of the worst, like a terrible – or a decent, like a mid-level fighter. They look like the best fighter ever. You put them in front of a top 10 guy and they look fucking awful. It's weird. It's a perfect comparison. It's crazy. But Chris Gutierrez, decent performance. Actually, no, not a decent performance. He should have whipped that guy's ass. But whatever. Anyways, next up we got Danny Barlow. Not a great performance. I did hear a 30-27 scorecard for the other guy, and I didn't see it that way quite at all, actually. I didn't think it was anywhere near that, but, that's what happens when you don't put together rounds where you're constantly damaging the guy and you're throwing out a lot of volume. He didn't do it. Danny Barlow didn't do that. He didn't look great at all. He looked to counter way too much. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a weight miss, whatever, but he didn't look great at all. And also in the third round, he looked tired, man. Not a good look, especially after the first performance I saw Danny Barlow. I was really high on him. And, shit happens. Maybe he'll come back and be better. But I expected him to get this guy out of there. He landed about one nice combination off a counter that, to me, that looked good. He busted Nikolay's face up with it, but I don't think Nikolay is great. I think that's a picture-perfect matchup for Danny Barlow, and he didn't impress me at all. I wasn't impressed with that. Like I said, people were speaking really high of this guy. I think he's a good fighter as well, but not impressed with that performance. Low volume, and I don't expect that from a guy like him. He's the guy who's ensuing. He throws volume. There were openings. I really would have liked him see him mix the boxing up to the body. He didn't do that at all. None. Didn't mix up the boxing and the body, and it disappointed me, honestly. I really wanted him to just fucking look better, bro. He just looked like shit. Headhunting the whole fight. You got to mix up shots, and he didn't do it. Ugh. Just looked like shit, man. I don't like that performance from him, especially because, and it's not that, like, I just expect something bigger from a guy like him, you know what I mean? Because he's hyped up, he's a featured fight on this card. He's got to be something good. And he didn't look great, but he gets to win, and, he'll move on and hopefully have a better performance next time out. Next up, my boy, Chepe Machine Gun Mariscal gets the dub. Some fucking crazy scorecards. I did think the second round was a 30-27, or I'm sorry, a 10-8 round, but I guess they had another one 10-8, which, I mean, good God, this guy Chepe is relentless, man. But first of all, let me talk about this. The weight missing, I don't like that. I like Chepe a lot. He's a top 15 favorite fighter for me. So I like the guy a lot. But, I don't do the missing weight. And, he talked about it. He's a professional. He knows that. I just don't do it, So I'm not taking anything away from his performance. It was a fantastic performance. And to do that, Damon Jackson, short notice. It wasn't that short notice, though. But he beat his fucking ass. He took him to school. Looked great everywhere, man. The judo throws were on point. The ground and pound, and just the Chepe fight style, how he fights, is come in there and try to take your head off and pressure. This guy's got a really good fight style, man. I love watching him fight. I will always love watching him fight. He's really, really fun to watch. He's, relentless. He doesn't give a fuck. He's going to come forward the whole fight. His performance against Morgan Charrier, you go back and watch that. He was outskilled by a lot, but when you have that kind of dog and he pulls that win out. But I think this is just me talking. Morgan Charrier, is that performance from him against Chepe was fantastic. He's going to be a problem. But anyways, let's move on. Chepe, I would like to see get a ranked fight now. I think he deserves it. He was originally booked for Ige, and I think that would have been sick. But it is what it is. Let's see. Next up, we got Spivac, the polar bear, coming in with the first round fucking armbar, bro. He weighed in lighter. Yeah, as a heavyweight, you can go up to 265, but he weighed in about 236, I believe it was. So people were worried about, will Tybura be able to get him down and hold him down because he's a lot bigger. Spivac, for the first part, bro, the first part of the round, he looked great on the feet, man. I haven't seen him look that good on the feet ever. He was, fast with the punches, fast with the kicks. He looked fantastic, man. They ain't put some respect on this guy's name, bro. He looked good, looked great on the feet. And, he took Tybura down. He got reversed. Tybura was on top. And, he throws up an armbar and submits him. But like I said, I was talking about how he looked on the feet, bro. He looked good. I was surprised. He came out aggressive. He was punching his, and I usually don't see Spivac doing that. So I think this guy can be good, man. We talk about heavyweights, there's some that are it's just like a tier. So you get past Cyril Gane, it's like Pavlovich, Gane, Volkov, Aspinall, etc., Almeida. And then past that, everybody's not as good. I think you could throw Spivac in there. I'd actually like to see him go in there and fight Jailton Almeida. I think that'd be a cool fight. With Jailton, he's an extensive grappler, but how does he do against Spivac, who is extremely good on the ground as well? I think it'd be a cool fight, really do. I would love to see that. Maybe you do it in Apex, I guess, but that would be sick. I was thinking about that immediately after Spivac won. I was like, damn, Almeida would be cool. They've never fought before, so I think that'd be sick. You could do Blades as well. I was thinking about that. Blades coming off a loss to Aspinall. You could do that too. So one of the two works, but I'd like to see him get back in there versus a guy like that. I don't want to see him fight down in the rankings or he needs to fight someone. Almeida or Blades would be cool. And yeah, it's gonna do it for me. I hope y'all boys enjoyed it. And, I aced that fucking card, but I do that all the time, so I'm not really too surprised. It's just what I do. So yeah, I'll catch y'all boys in the next one.